Okay, I'm going to do a little reading, okay? And I know I don't read all that well, so just bear with me, okay? So, I don't read out loud all that well. I kind of raise the head and fumbles it up a bit, so just be patient with me. And I think we're going to have a little interesting little conversation here this evening. All right, and I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned I saw 7 golden candlesticks. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. He had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword. And his countenance was as the sun shineth in his strength. And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead, and he laid his right hand upon me, saying unto me, Fear not, I am the first and the last. I am he that liveth, and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore, amen, and have the keys of hell and death. Now that would be you. Write these things which thou hast seen, and the things which are, and the things which shall be hereafter. The mystery of the 7 stars which thou sawest in my right hand, and the 7 golden candlesticks, the 7 stars of the angels of the 7 churches, the 7 candlesticks which thou sawest are the 7 churches. That may be the 7 places of study, the 7 places of discovery, 7 places of wonder, really. That's what they were in those days. I think we didn't have a Cineplex. Right, so, now this is in Revelation. Here's something from Jude. Okay, so, but these speak evil of those things which they know not. But what they know naturally as brute beasts, in those things they corrupt themselves. Woe unto them, for they have gone the way of Cain, and ran greedily after the heir of Balaam for reward, and perished in the gainsaying of Kor. These are spots in your feasts of charity, when they feast with you, feeding themselves without fear. Clouds, they are without water, carried about of winds, trees whose fruit wherewith without fruit, twice dead, plucked up by the roots. Raging waves of the sea, foaming out of their own shame. Wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. And Enoch, also the 7th from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that they are ungodly among them, that there are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. These are murmurers, complainers, walking after their own lusts, and their mouth speaketh great swelling words, having men's persons in admiration because of advantage. But, beloved, remember ye the words which were spoken before the apostles of our Lord Jesus Christ, how that they told you there should be mockers in the last time, who should walk after their own ungodly lusts. These be they who separate themselves, sensual, having not the Spirit. That would be you. Understand, like, I might have done this once or twice. You do it all the time. You got this down packed. Yeah, I'm not all that happy with much of the New Testament stuff, but you know, that was kind of interesting. The Apocrypha is kind of nice. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion hath overthrown their judgment. Without eyes thou shalt want light. Profess not the knowledge, therefore, that thou hast not. See, that's, I'm telling you, that's what it would cost me to lie to you. Whatever light I've got. And it says right here in the Bible, I knew that intuitively, right? You don't know this. Think of this. There's 1 billion, one person in 7 billion that I'm convinced that knows this. Besides me. That's 2 in 7 billion. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So, you want to do something right, don't expect, you know, an easy ride. You know, but shit, this one's something else. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord. Yeah, so like Donald Trump has never been my role model. You know, like, I never I could understand that thing, but you know, to each his own, right? With their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew. So, you know, they got churches today that close at, you know, God's got business hours now. It's true. Slapped up tighter than a widow's purse after 6 or 8 o'clock, whatever time it is during the day. It's closed. Holiday is, I don't know. You know, when I saw it's closed, I had no further interest in anything I had to say. They're not doing God's work. They're doing their own deal there. Anyway. So, I mean, this is not too far, this is not a far out thing to say. It was at the time. For a priest to be idolatrous was just unheard of. That would be like George Bush being a thief. Only worse. A lot worse. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they looked for. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach. In other words, this goofball wasn't such a goofball, it seems. We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. Now, you know, both my little sisters should have told you, it's never a smart thing to go to battle against me. No matter who you are. You know, like, I don't roll over well. I don't defeat easily. And I don't buy bullshit too good. Don't find me paying too much for that. I mean, this is unbelievable sayings. You know, he also said that women will give birth to monsters. I can't find it. Like, I'm not a Bible scholar. Do you understand? I have no idea where shit is in here, right? But you know, if you're a king of kings, you know, you find some very good reading in here. And even if you're not, like you're king of your own life, you know. And you know, right now, you know, most of you are functioning at the level of consciousness below that of a bedbug. This is truth. You haven't got the wit to even suspect the value that betraying your word costs you. Not a clue. Anyway, you need some education, so pay attention for a little while longer. You know, I'm bored too much so far, but stay with us, because I'll tell you a secret. It's like eating a time-released hand grenade. It's going to go off and continue to go off, and you'll wish you'd never met me. So, I'm a rolled-up person to hate, so bear with me for a few more minutes. Okay. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. And so, you know, what do you think about, you know, two incarnations back to back, both child prodigies, geniuses? They managed to hide until they started to perform in the world. Both focused on the same individual. Coincidence. Anyway, most of this stuff has already happened already. You see, you don't see this. But for anybody who's at all rationally cosmopolitan or sophisticated, which, you know, people who are theorizing they're sophisticated today are a joke. A pagan boulder humper 5,000 years ago had more wit than you do. Understand that? You know, I'll tell you how lonely you people are. Yeah. You're so lonely that you fuck blow up goats when you're feeling naughty. I'm a pretty truthful individual, and so people get truthful around me. And so I remember speaking with a man one day, and he said to me, you know, when you see a beautiful woman walking down the street, you see the girl, you know, you see her ass, and you see what's underneath it, and I go, yeah, I do. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I do. I know exactly, yeah. He says, well, I see the underwear. And I said, well, yeah, what a waste. We can understand, like, so if I were a woman, I would want somebody that would want me more than my underwear. I really would. I don't care what anybody says. For sure. Understand? And I would want a man who was emotionally available to me, too. And there's none around, those around today at all, because they're too busy being emotionally available themselves. That and lying to each other, which further diminishes whatever wit they once had or were born with. See, they're stumbling around without the vaguest clue of what affects them, what works for them, what enlightens them, and what makes them more gross or more heavy. And so, there's direct correlations in the Bible and the Quran to exactly what is happening now. And the correlation is to a thing called the last days. And I'm here to kind of oversee this thing. And I'm not your Messiah. but I know who he is. And she's also your mom. And she's my wife. And I can't hold her until I get you fixed. That's Allah's orders. None of that. I have to have 7 brides. With bride number 1 being the last. And this place in royal order in less than 3 years. And today, on the best of days, the clearest description I can come up with is a puzzle factory. Now, I mentioned previously that the level of consciousness of virtually 100% of you, 100%, yeah, I'm not exaggerating, is below that of bedbug. So, you know, it's quite the, it takes quite the bit of convincing for me to say this to the entire 7 billion of you, but I am directly to your face. And I'm not hard to find, you know, and nobody, I don't pay anybody to sample my food. I'm easy to shoot in the bag. I'm a little harder to shoot up front. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not going to bullshit you. For no reason, no how. I don't care who you are either. You know, you won't get much in the way of political correctness from us or niceness. You might get a little aggravation. If you're one of my wives or our wives, I'm hoping you have some fun and a life to be thrilled about by the time you're even 10% of the way through it. But getting started is hard. Getting started, anything is hard. Like, everything needs to change around here. Everything. Your ideas about whatever you're thinking of have no foundation in reality whatsoever. Like, your mother is not only your Messiah, but she was also your father in this lifetime for me. My name is Adam, originally. Adama, actually. Anyway, the thing is, we're back, and this is God's doing, and He wants to come and hang out with you. And He'd like this thing to be in working order before He gets here. And I don't care what I have to do to have that happen. I want to do this. I would like it to be a barrel of laughs. I really would. Please understand this. I have no investment in this being difficult whatsoever. I would like it to be easy and quick. As quick as possible, but we gotta make it thorough. Understand? You need to let go of the shit that's weighing you down. You're all dragging around a ton of useless shit. Let the fucking horse shit go. The resentment, the bitterness, the animosity, the buggery, the fuck. You gotta declare it. It's required. You're sentient. There's laws that affect you. Bedbugs know this. Grasshoppers know this. Locusts know this. They obey the Lord. They do. Believe me, they do. You don't. They do. Think about this. They're smart enough to obey. Dude, they're fucking sweet. Faster than me. And I should know better. I drag my ass, period. I do, I admit it. I'm not a perfect king, I'm not a perfect person, I'm not a perfect man, I'm not perfect anything. But I'm a king. And it's my job, imperfect and dim-witted as I can be, to get you healthy in less than 3 years. Like I'm not kidding. And I got no possibility to fail at this. You know, and I have no idea how I'm going to do this at all. So I need your help, or your resistance right away. I'd like to see, you know, who my adversaries are as quickly as possible. So if you have a problem with me, I'd like to hear about it quick. If you'd like to help, I'd like to hear about that quick too. I need help in every way that exists. Basically, the brand new old king. A bunch of guys sitting around the desert figured this out too about 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. This is what kind of bugs me. Not only that, they said I was going to write a book and everything else, and I did. And before they said I knew they said that. I felt kind of kind of knocked me for a bit of a loop, you know. Like, but anyway, the thing is, this talk is not about what knocks me for a loop. This talk is about what I need from you. And like, I don't want your children for my wars. We will not be having any wars. I do not want your children for my net worth increase. I have my own net worth, and it's growing, no matter what you have to say about it. We will have nothing stolen in our dominions at all. At all, not a single item. And so much of the stuff that is stolen currently needs to either be returned to the crown or its rightful owner. And this is called the King's Barf. Do not be reasonable with yourself. Very good operating protocol is to be unreasonable with yourself and very reasonable with everyone else. Be intolerant of yourself, intolerant of no one else, for any reason. Builds good Muslim character. No matter what other rag-headed pussies may say to the contrary, this is true. See, this is like the Mujahideen. Crazy little boys showing off. There's no traffic on these streets. It's Sunday night. It's 7 o'clock. Understand? This is what you do for amusement. Because you don't know how to love each other. You don't know how to love yourself. You don't know who you are. You don't even know what truth is. Or how to find it. You've lost your wits. Because you got reasonable with your integrity. Which is a stupid fucking thing to do. Anyway, so as your king, my job is to eliminate or get rid of anything that's sucking up on you and not yielding you benefit. Any parasites. It's kind of like the first order of business of any king. Excuse me. And I don't want to leave any from the king that follows me. I have to deal with new problems, but not this one. This one we're going to take care of in as short order as we possibly can, because I need to be able to be with my queens, and I can't do this until this one's done. And so I got a bit of an urgency on this, and I'm making mistakes, and I'm and I'm being too impatient. But Allah has made it clear to me that He's not going to be reasonable about His decision with regard to my wives. I cannot hold them. I can experience no female comfort until this issue is handled. Now, I've practiced patience for a long time, and I've gotten fairly good at it, not perfect at all, not any such imagination, but I have some degree of skill with patience. But I'm not going to suffer fools gladly from here on in. You understand? Like I don't have any spare patience. Let's put it this way. And so I need each one of you to work diligently with the truth in your own life, in your own environment, where you are. This is where you make a difference. This is how it starts. You want to build a big life for yourself. You want to build a name for yourself. You want to build some lasting credibility in this universe. Begin today. Worship the truth. It takes courage. It takes vision. It takes guts. It takes persistence. It takes all the things you need to survive high altitude living. Now, or you can choose to dance with worms. Now, one's a lot of fucking hard work, so is the other one, actually. One pays a dividend and one doesn't. So, your job is to choose. Okay? Your bullshit. Get it working, get your mojo happening on that, so it's down flat, perfect, and finally yielding you something. Or give it up with the horseshit that it is and begin the practice of worshiping the truth and see where it takes you. I never heard of anybody doing this and starving to death or getting beaten to death afterwards either. And people had to confess some pretty significant things. Murders. And I go to somebody's mother, father, and wife and in tears, beg their forgiveness and have it extended by all three parties. I see, you have no idea what's possible. You're worshipping your dementia, your perversions, your insanity, your neuroses, and managing to squeeze some pleasure out of that somehow. I have no idea how. I can understand that some man may prefer to fondle my woman's used underwear than her. I don't pretend to understand how that works. Understand? Like there's a lot of things that I can't sort of get a grip on that you guys do. But I see it, and I can't deny that it exists. With the deductive reasoning that precedes a contact. I can only speculate about it. So you're fucked up and twisted in so many different ways. You need help in every which way you can think, every which way you exist. You got terminal vampires feeding on you. Your medical community, your legal community, your governments, every which way they can. Like a bunch of juvenile delinquent boys on steroids and speed. They've just discovered alcohol. This is what's running your world today. Learner's permit and dreaming it's a chauffeur's license. And not discerning the difference between the two. So they've stubbed their toes and they're trying to figure out how to unstub them right now, and they're not being very successful with this, and nor are they going to be. We're going to have a complete forensic accounting of every penny Halliburton Engineering ever distributed. or took in. O2. Like WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks isn't even the tip of the iceberg. Do you understand this? There's going to be no more national security because everything is ours. There's no more them. Doesn't matter which country you're living in. Doesn't matter, you know, what religion you are, or what color your skin is, or what you think about me or not. I'm your king. I'm here to serve you. I'm not here to take anything from you. But I am here to return that which was stolen from you. Completely. And the most you can pay me for this job, and you understand this now, is $128 a year at some point further down the road. Okay? And $2 or $10 or whatever the two smallest paper currencies are in whatever principality in which you live, after you've finished writing your list, put the list, two portions of your list, stuff I've done to breach my integrity, and stuff people have done to me that has hurt. The first one is first, the second one is second. Two lists from you, and in between the lists, $2 in the United States, $10 in Canada. I don't know how much British pound, if they got a £1 note, then two £1 notes. Rupees, you got 2 rupees, like 1 rupee note, then 2 rupees or more. But I want your list, and this consideration, this makes a legal and binding agreement between the two of us on every domain that exists. It's already legal and binding for me as far as it's concerned, but this helps me and helps you. Now that this will be the most any future king will ever be able to glean from you. I'll never seek more than this. And he's not entitled to this. This is an ask. Understand? There's no requirement, because this list is going to be the last list that's ever needed on this planet. You're alive today. You're imaginative, sentient. You're part of the show, whether you like it or not. I'm telling you. Anyway, so the deal is, you need to choose. If you want to work a little longer on your bullshit, that's a prerogative you have. On the other hand, if you want to decide for something new, something different, and perhaps even improved on what you currently enjoy, I promise you this: I can't do any worse. At all. Like, the worst that's going to happen to you with me over the next 7 years is you're going to turn all your polluting of the oceans around. You're going to turn all of your turf the fucking horseshit out of here completely, totally, irreversibly. And that process is going to be rich with reward. You wait and see. I'm telling you. I know things you don't know. I do. Trust me. I know stuff. I didn't know I know stuff, but I do. Anyway, so part of the stuff I know is worshiping the truth is good for you. And you have none of you, not one of the Pope, nobody knows how to worship God. Have no cognition of what God is. You're too bungle-funted in your own dementia to have any cognition of anything other than self-interest, basically. Now, you got eco deals happening in monastery, monks functioning for the best, most prestigious place to meditate. And meditation, you need a complete reorigination of everything you ever dreamed of, because your Messiah used to be my husband. And I loved him so much. And so he knew that I had a hard time with with men. I was a lesbian at the time. Anyway, he's back today in the most beautiful female body I've ever seen, with the most beautiful light inside of it that's ever glowed between two feminine eyes. Period. And we're qualified to make these assertions. And you find that I don't really exaggerate or whistle Dixie much. And I'm telling you, she has conquered death. She's way smarter than me. Her light shines. I'm surprised. I'm surprised she hasn't knocked any of you over with it yet, but just don't see, you can see her, but you can't see Her Majesty. It's unavailable to you because you have none of your own at all. If you had even a little bit of your own, you'd have an entirely redefined experience of my wife, Eve. Anyway, I gotta get you fixed before I can hold her. And this is a real pain in my ass. Huge. So, let's start out with me being as nice as I can possibly be, okay? And ask you, please, begin the King's Bar. You got stolen shit, return the fucking stuff in a hurry. Like, we could do it all in a week. This is true. You understand this? This could be over. I could be in my wife's arms in a week. But I'm hoping it doesn't take 3. But let's see if we can make it for 2. Okay, we'll give you some elbow room. But I'm not kidding. Like, I want this #1 priority on planet Earth. It has to be. Like, you need to understand this. You need us both. You do. And I'm not going to show her to you, nor is God going to allow me to, until this place is safe. Not only for her to reveal herself, but also for my Allah to come into this world in the flesh. He's going to live among you for a while as a human being. This never happened before. That wasn't Jesus didn't do this. This is a whole new deal. And that's one of the reasons, another one of the reasons why I'm so anxious to get this thing on the road and get this thing done, because, you know, I need my wives in my arms in order to have this occur. I need this place safe for this to occur first, so I can finally produce my yield for Allah and be about other things. So please, make me the nicest king in history, okay? Please make me the most kindest, generous, most soft-spoken king that ever lived. Please worship it for immediately and help me bring my women home. It's the King of Kings asking you a favor. Yeah, this is what you're watching right now. Think about it, Wayne. If you choose yes, you'll be glad you did, I promise.